Today, I'm going to show you how to create a text analyzer using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. This text analyzer will help you convert your lowercase characters to uppercase characters to lowercase. It will also tell you the character count, word count of your text and a lot more. Let's move on to a computer screen and let's get started with this project. So since we are making a text analyzer purely using HTML, CSS and JavaScript, I want to tell you that I am using Bootstrap. I'll be using Bootstrap because it is very easy for me to simply use the Bootstrap CDN. And when the requirement is not exact and the client has not told me to do things a specific way, what I usually do in my freelancing projects is that I try to save my time, and Bootstrap is the best way to do that. So let me tell you how you can grab Bootstrap and how you can save a lot of your time by using Bootstrap. Okay, so you can simply go to examples and let me create a new project because I haven't done that yet. So I'll call it text analyzer and I'm going to open this folder in VS Code. So let me open VS Code. And also let me drag this folder here so that this folder is now opened in VS Code. Let me create a file called index.html. And since I can use Emmet here, I can do something like this and get this initial template. But I will not do that. Why will I not do that? Because I am going to copy the template from Bootstrap. So let me do this. I am going to put it in desktop number 2 so that I can do this. Yes, now it looks good. I'm not going to use Emmet because I am going to copy the example code from here. So let me see where the example code is. I think it's there in the docs. I can copy this link and I should be able to use Bootstrap. So I have just copied the Bootstrap example template and I got this. Now let me tell you that you will have to install an extension called Live Server if you want to follow along. And I guess there should be an extension for Bootstrap as well. Bootstrap. Maybe Bootstrap snippet, Bootstrap 4, Bootstrap font awesome 4, pro snippets, Bootstrap 5 quick snippets. Let me try this extension. It is rated 5-star and a lot of people have downloaded it. We'll give it a try. Okay. Let me see if they have, yeah, they have a lot of things. They have a lot many snippets. Yeah, we can try this and it's good to install since we are using Bootstrap. Okay, so I'll install these two extensions. The first one being Live Server. Second one is the Bootstrap. So make sure that you install Live Server also and restart your VS Code so that you see this go live button. So once you have installed this extension and the Bootstrap extension, and once you have copied this code, simply restart your VS Code if you are installing this extension for the first time, and then click on Go Live. The moment I click on Go Live, I'll see this page and Bootstrap is now active. I should be using Bootstrap now. And how do I know that? Just by looking at this font. And if you are not yet convinced, you can simply go to components. Just a moment, not components. I want to get the NavBar. Let me search for the NavBar. You can search for the NavBar here. You can say NavBar and this should take you to NavBar, yeah, how it works. So this is the NavBar and let me copy the NavBar and you can simply copy the NavBar and you will get it. So I don't want to see hello world, but I want to see the NavBar. So I'll see the NavBar now. So if I come back to this page, this is how my website looks, and you can make this NavBar dark by simply adding the dark classes. So they have the dark NavBar as well. Let me show you how to change this NavBar to dark. Once you get an understanding of Bootstrap and how it works, it will be very easy for you to change this navbar. I'll right click and format document just so that this looks good. And also I'll try to make this navbar as a dark navbar. So navbar expand LG, BG body territory. I'll just simply find how to make this navbar dark. So you can toggle dark mode on the Bootstrap website by using these options. Let me toggle it to white so that I can see which one is the dark navbar. This is a dark mode navbar, and let me see how to create a dark mode navbar. So you simply add these classes and this database theme. So let me do that. And where to add this? We will have to add it to the nav. Let me add it to the nav and let me add this BG dark class. Let me add it here. And yes, my navbar should be dark now. Wow, I just converted my navbar to a dark navbar. Okay, so this is how you can convert your navbar to a dark navbar. And since I'm interested in creating a text utility, I'll change it to text analyzer. The next thing that I want is a container. So this is my navbar. I can run navbar for my website and comment it out. Main container for the website, and this will contain the main container for the website. So let me write something here, and we'll see this something here. Did you notice that it has automatically aligned to the center, because the container class in Bootstrap helps you do that? Okay, but I don't want this something here. I want a heading, and I'll say h1, and let me say something like welcome to text analyzer. Enter your text below to transform it. Okay, so this is how my heading looks, and let me give it a class of my4. So by giving it a class of my4, it will get some margin at the top, and if I want to see it at the center, I'll say text center. So text center is also a class in Bootstrap, and it will center your text. Okay, let me now see how to use forms in Bootstrap. So this is how you can use forms in Bootstrap. And what I am interested in is a text area tag. Now, what will a text area tag do? A text area tag will give me a big box where I can input my text and then manipulate it. So let me see if I can find some text area. Yeah, text areas. I just entered text areas, and I think, yeah, I got it. So this is the kind of text area I want to see. And to set a custom height on your text area, do not use rows attributes. Instead, set an explicit height. So let me see where they have set an explicit height. Let me see. Yeah, so they have added height by doing this. Let me do something like this, and this is my front end. So instead of comments, I'll say input text, and also enter your text here. I'll say enter your text here. Okay, and ID is equal to text, or maybe inp text. Let me call it inp text. I'll copy it and I'll paste it here. Input text, enter your text here. Looks good. Okay, now I'll create some buttons here, and all those buttons will transform this text in different ways. Okay, let's go. So the first button that I want to create is transform to uppercase. Okay, so the first button is going to be I'll say div.buttons, and I'll put all the buttons here. But before that, let me change the title of this page to text analyzer. Analyze your text for free. Okay, so the very first button that I want to grab from Bootstrap is going to be transform to uppercase. So let me use all these buttons. Let me see how they look. I am simply copy pasting, and this is the beauty of Bootstrap. I'll remove all the buttons which I don't need, but this is the beauty of Bootstrap, guys. It really looks good. And let me add some padding. I'll say my4 for getting a margin at the top, and I'll add different buttons. Transform to uppercase, or rather, let me say uppercase, lowercase, or what else can we do? Yeah, we can count the characters. We can say how many characters are there inside this inside the div, inside the text area, and different types of functions, right? Uppercase is there, lowercase is there, count characters. I don't want to make count characters as a function because I want to automatically do that. Count characters and count words. So let me say there are 45 words and 422 characters. So it should be displayed like this. Yes. Let me remove all these buttons. Okay, at least let me comment these out. If I need any button, I'll enable it. Okay, let me make it success, and yeah, blue green looks good. Yeah, nice. So let us say I input some text here. Hey, please gift me an Apple Watch. Okay, and if I click on uppercase, this should change to all uppercase. Okay, this is the goal. Let me write some JavaScript, and I'll write some JavaScript functions. Rather, let me add a JavaScript script to this entire project, and let me call it script.js, and let me include it. So instead of writing and script tag, I'll say src is equal to script.js, and let me say console.log, and I'll say script works. So the very first thing that you should do is to test out your scripts, whether they are working or not, because if they are working, only then you will see them in action, otherwise no. At times I've seen myself committing this mistake of not including the script to my index.html and then getting frustrated why is it not working. And you know, it is really frustrating if your software doesn't work. Now if somebody clicks on uppercase, they should be able to change this text to all uppercase. Okay, so let me add an ID to this button. I'll say uppercase, and then I'll say, you know what, when somebody clicks on uppercase, I want to add an event listener of click, and I want to say ANFN. ANFN is simply it's an abbreviation, and I'm able to use ANFN because I'm using this ES6 extension. I'll show you the extension. It's called ES6 or ES7 snippets or something. I'm not sure. I think, yeah, it's called ES7 snippets. Yeah, so these are the ES7 plus React Native snippets. So there is a snippet called ANFN, and when you type ANFN, you get an arrow function. Okay, so you can install these extensions or type this manually. Now I want to say console.log transforming to uppercase. So this is the first step, and always approach things step by step. The moment you type something, it says add event listener is not a function. Uppercase dot add event listener, yeah. Okay, so the moment I add something here and click uppercase, you'll see transforming to uppercase here. Okay, now the next step is to add the logic for transforming this text to uppercase. And how does it work? It works simply by grabbing this text first. So let me give it an ID of INP text. It's already there. I'll say give me the value of INP text. I want to get the value of this text area, and I'll say console.log, or rather let me try it here. If I say INP text.value, it gives me the value of text area. So you can see that I can get the text area value. Okay, so you can either change the value of a text area, or you can get the value of a text area by using dot value. So we are going to do the same thing. Instead of doing console log, I'll say INP text.value is equal to INP text.value to uppercase. It's a JavaScript function. You can change a text to uppercase. So now if I click uppercase, I can transform my text to uppercase. Awesome. This looks really nice. The next step is to simply transform it to lowercase. So if somebody transforms it to lowercase, I want to make sure that the text is transformed to lowercase. So I'll say to lowercase. Awesome. And whenever somebody changes the value of text area, I'll say whenever somebody changes the value, INP text dot add event listener, and whenever somebody changes it, I want to make sure that I'm console logging changed. And let me see if, so it says lowercase is not defined. Okay, so lowercase is not defined. Let me define it. Let me give it an idea of lowercase here. Copy, paste, lowercase. Okay, yes, everything works now. Now for some reason this is not working. Whenever I'm typing something inside of my input text area, nothing happens here. I'm expecting change to be logged to console, but it is not happening, which means that this change is not working. So the name of the event is input, I guess. Let me try this out. Yes, the name of the event is input. So whenever you listen for the input change, you can always change these. So whenever somebody enters from the keyboard to the text area, I want to make sure that these characters are counted properly. So let me add a span here. I'll say 0 and I'll give it an ID of char count, and then I'll add another span and I'll give it an ID of word count. So as ID is equal to word count. So we need to count the characters and the words. So I'll say char count dot inner text is equal to, I'll say inp text dot length. Okay, and the same goes for word count as well. I want to count the number of words inside of this. So I'll say in inp length dot split, and I want to split it by a space so that I can count the number of words. And I also want to make sure that if my text looks something like this, I want to remove the trailing spaces. So if I say a dot split, if I do this, I should be able to remove the empty spaces. Okay, so I can do something like this. I'll say a dot, I'll say a dot trim. I guess trim is the function. Yeah, so a dot trim. I'll say dot trim dot split dot length. Why have I opened FaceTime? I should close FaceTime. Okay, so if I start typing now, it says undefined words and 0 characters. Oops, what's wrong? Okay, so inp text dot length, sorry, dot value dot trim dot split value dot length. Yeah, this should work now. So if I start typing here, it says 1 characters. Okay, so this is characters and this is words. Okay, so let me change it to words and let me change that to characters. Now if I say Harry is a good boy, it gives me the number of characters and this gives me the number of words. Awesome. Now if I copy this and if I paste it here, it tells me that there are 1302 characters and 100 words in this input text. Okay, which is awesome. And you can always do this to make it even bigger, but I think this is a good enough default height. So this is a good enough default height. You might want to increase the default height by simply changing this CSS. It's really very easy. Where is the CSS? Yeah, so instead of saying 100 pixels, you can give it an initial height of 200 pixels. It's all up to you. Let me Google word counter. Let me see what kind of functions do they have. So they have words and characters. So they have words and characters. Let me change it to words and characters just like they have done it, because I think it's ideal to show the words first and then the characters, and these many characters. Yeah. Okay, awesome. So words is there, characters is there, then transform to uppercase is there. And what else can we do? Remove extra spaces is something that we can do. Remove extra spaces. So let me add a function for remove extra spaces. So instead of doing this, I will cut it and I'll paste it here. Remove extra spaces. And let's see how to remove extra spaces. So I'll add an ID of remove spaces and I'll add an event listener to this. So Alt Shift down arrow key, remove spaces dot add event listener, and now removing extra space here. Okay, so this is how we can remove extra spaces. So we have the input value, we want to remove extra spaces from this input value. So how do we do that? I think the best way is to use replace all function from JavaScript. So I'll say dot replace all, and I want to replace the double spaces, all the double spaces with a single space. I think that should do. And I think, yeah, that should do. Let me see. So let us say I have a text. This is a text and a lot of spaces. Yes, this is a text. Then again, a lot of spaces. If I say remove extra spaces, so it removed only few of these spaces. I think it should keep on doing it until there are no extra spaces, if that makes sense. So why is this replace all not working in JavaScript? So I think that I should find some alternate way to remove extra spaces in JavaScript. So Stack Overflow to the rescue, and I found this to remove extra spaces, and I'll explain you how this works. But before that, let me copy this and let me paste it here. So what this is doing is using regular expression. So what I'm saying is whenever I get either one or more occurrences of a space, I want to replace it with a single space. So even if I have 10 spaces, I'll replace it with single space. Okay, so it will find the occurrence of either one or more spaces and replace it with a single space. Okay, so this is how this regular expression is working. Let me see if it works in action or not. This regular expression was taken from Stack Overflow. Now this is an awesome website. Yes, Stack Overflow. Okay, let me remove extra spaces, and yes, it works. Awesome, it works. Okay, so let me put the link to the Stack Overflow. I always want to make it a habit, and I want you to even make this a habit of copy pasting Stack Overflow references into your code. Now people refrain from doing that because they don't want to give people credit, but let me tell you something, that if you're writing your own code and you are putting these Stack Overflow references, then you can always go back to those references to see how a particular segment of your code is working. Okay, so this is really very important. Okay, awesome. So this is how things are working in our text analyzer. What else can we do? I'm just thinking, can we change our text to sentence case, camel case, Pascal case? Yeah, you can always do that. You can always remove extra new lines. You can always remove extra. Let me create a function to remove extra new lines and remove new lines. Remove extra new lines. Remove extra new lines. And instead of saying remove spaces, I'll call it remove lines. Remove lines. Remove lines. Control C to copy and Alt Shift down to paste. Remove lines. Remove extra new lines. And instead of doing \s, I'll do \n. And I think this should work, because if I say remove extra new lines, it has actually removed all the new lines. I want to keep at least one new line. How do I change this regular expression? So I want to replace it with a new line. So whenever I see an occurrence of one or more occurrence of a new line, I want to change it to new line. Okay, so let me change it to \n. And now if I say now I want coffee, so if I remove extra new lines, it transformed my expression to this. Awesome. I love it. I love this app. And I love the fact how minimal this app is. I want to change these NavBar buttons because I don't want to keep demo items in my app. But you might want to add an about page. You might want to add some more stuff to your page, how to contact you. So You can always write that you created this website just for practice and you wanted to add this website to your portfolio. You can say this website was created by, say, Harry, and he wanted to add it to his GitHub account. Check out his GitHub account for similar projects. Okay, this, that, other. You can always do that. Let me change it to about, contact me, or hire me, or whatever. Okay, let me remove this drop down. I don't need it. And also I don't need this disabled button. Let me change it to contact. Okay, and I want to remove this search button. This is very useful, but for this project I don't need it. I often use this search button for searching various stuffs. Like I created a news app and I added news app search to this search box. Let me come back to my app and let me remove this text center. I think this is not looking good at all. Yeah, this is looking good. So yeah, this is how our app looks, and I think this is it about this project. I hope you liked it, and I hope that you will add a lot of other things to this project to make it look good. But let me tell you how to host this project to Linode, because it's really very simple and very convenient to host your project to Linode. So you can always create a new Linode, and I'm going to host this project to a Nanode, because if you want to showcase a very simple project to people, keep one Nanode and start hosting multiple websites to that Nanode. Let me click on shared CPU, Nanode 1 GB. Let me give it a password. Let me give it a simple password. Okay, it is really very simple one. Nanode 1 GB $5. Create Linode. I haven't changed. I haven't selected the region. Let me add Ubuntu 22. Ubuntu 22.1.04 LTS. Yes, LTS Ubuntu's are the best. Again, I have password doesn't meet complexity requirement. Okay, no problems. I just changed it. Okay, they are still not convinced. Okay, let me change it to something else. Oops, they are not still convinced. Let me change it to my stronger password. And this Linode is being provisioned. It takes some time for a Linode to get provisioned. Now let me tell you something, that this app is fairly basic and it has only 2 files. But if you are creating this app, you might have about.html where you will tell about your website. You might also want to link this page to about page. And you might also have a contact.html page, which can be built using similar method. You can add the NavBar, you can add the same container, you can use different snippets from Bootstrap 5. But let me tell you something, you can always go to Google and say Bootstrap 5 snippets, or even if I search Bootstrap 5 about page, you'll get some example about pages from Bootstrap 5, and a lot of the pages will be free, so feel free to use them. So as you can see, that centered heroes, centered screenshot, this can be used as a contact page, this can be used as the about page. Let me inspect it and let me see if I can copy this page. So let me copy this part of the page. No, I think I should copy this part. So this is the part. Let me copy element and let me paste it to my about page right here. And also, since I am pasting Bootstrap, I will have to add Bootstrap. Okay, so till the navbar I want to copy everything and then I'll paste it here. So till the navbar I've copied everything. And yes, I'll also add the scripts at the bottom. So there are some scripts at the bottom, so I'll replace the body and HTML. So this body and HTML with this, and let me see how my about page looks like. So it says can't get about, I should say about.html. Yeah, wow, it looks good, it looks amazing. Just by doing a very simple copy paste, you can create your about page. You can always change this text. Let me do word wrap, toggle word wrap. Let me change this text about text analyzer. Okay, you can always do this and quickly design and customize whatever. Okay, so about text analyzer, it looks pretty good. You can always copy more snippets, go to different websites, find some snippets. So front end these days is very simple until and unless you don't want granular control over your website. Now a Linode must have been provisioned. It's not yet provisioned. A Nanode actually takes some time to provision, but again, you can always wait for it. And in the meantime, what I'll do is I'll upload my code to Linode object storage. And I'll tell you why am I doing that. So as you can see that there are 4 files. I'll compress these files and I'll rename this archive to text.zip, and I'll upload this to Linode object storage. So I'll click on object storage. You can always create a new bucket, but I already have a bucket set up, and I'll use this bucket to upload files. So I'll take this file manager here and let me upload it. Just 4.4 KB. You can always copy the code and you can always pull the code inside the Nanode. So my plan is to copy the link to this text.zip, make it public. So you'll have to make it public because whatever you upload to the object storage is not public. Public read. I want to make it readable for the public. Then I'll copy the link to this. So the Linode is now provisioned and I can log into my Linode account by either going to Lish console or simply typing this command on my terminal and entering the password. So let me say root and let me Control V to paste, and I am inside of my Nanode. Okay. Now what I'll do is I'll say apt update. This will update the packages, and then I'll install Apache 2 package to host this website. If I copy the link to this Nanode, which is the IP of this Nanode, if I paste it here and if I press enter, nothing happens because we don't have anything installed. But if I say apt install Apache 2, Apache 2's default page will be visible. Let me show you. So I'm installing Apache 2 inside this Nanode. As you can see, it is almost installed, and the moment I reload this, you'll see Apache's default page. Now I want to change this Apache's default page to my website. How do I do that? I can simply go inside my cd var www directory, and this contains an HTML folder. Let me cd into this HTML folder, and I want to replace this index.html. How do I do that? I can simply copy link to my text.zip and I will go back to the console and I'll install unzip. So unzip is an Ubuntu package which will help you unzip a zip file. How do I get this zip file? I can type wget and link to this zip file which I have uploaded to my Linode object storage, and now I can unzip text.zip. I can enter this command and it says, do you want to replace index.html? Yes, I want to replace index.html because I want to see my website in place of this Apache 2 Ubuntu page. Now if I reload this page, you will see that my text analyzer is hosted here. Okay, and I can simply enter hey, how are you, and transform it to either uppercase or lowercase. I can also remove extra spaces, and I can do all these things which have been built into this text analyzer, remove extra lines, and wow, we just hosted with this website to a Nanode, $5 only. You can even host multiple websites to a Nanode, which is a topic for some other video. But again, I'll tell you very quickly how to do that. You can create similar folders like /html, and you can then add Apache 2 configuration files. But I'll probably show this to you in some other video. I hope you like this video. I hope you like this text analyzer. Make sure you add this text analyzer to your resume. You might want to add some more features to this text analyzer. Sky is the limit now. I hope you like this video. Thank you so much guys for watching this video, and I will see you next time.